Good morning, surprise. I'm gonna try another Facebook Live here. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna set up the feed on my my desktop so I can see your comments, okay? So I'm set up now. So if you're watching, I would love it if you could comment and say hello, so I'm not talking just to myself. But I'll just give everybody a couple seconds, see if anybody else joins. Well, hi Sandra. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I'm just gonna get started. All right, so today I wanted to talk about Stampin' Up's paper trimmer. If you're just getting back into crafting or you're just starting out and you don't have any crafting tools, I want to show you the Stampin' Up paper trimmer. So this is Stampin' Up's paper trimmer. It looks like this. I will give you a better shot in a second when I mount my camera over my desk. 6 months ago, when I started getting really back into crafting, I said, I do not need a paper trimmer. I have 3. I don't need any more. But I ran into problems and I realized that really Stampin' Up's paper trimmer was the way to go. So, Sandra, I know you don't need to be convinced. You probably already have it. You probably have 2, if anything. So yeah, I had 3. I didn't think I needed another one. But let me show you why Stampin' Up's paper. I ended up buying Stampin' Up's paper trimmer because I really liked it, and I'll just show you. Just close your eyes. Don't look while I transfer my camera because I don't want to make you sick. Okay. Whoops. Here we go. Okay, let me just move this down a little bit. I'll move my keyboard out of the way. All right. Okay. All right, so to make a card, you need to be able to measure and cut your cardstock down to the right size to make the card, and you need to score it so that you can have a nice crisp line on the fold line. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this one away and I'm going to show you what I do have, my old ones. Okay, so this is my biggest one. Okay, this paper trimmer is quite large. Obviously, it takes up most of my desk and it's not easy to make a room for if you don't have a huge amount of crafting space. And I don't have a huge amount of crafting space, so it was not always convenient to have to drag this one out. It does, however, have a ruler here, so it makes it easier to measure. So when I need to measure my paper, I would just measure up to here. So typically for a standard card, you would cut an 8.5 by 11 into half, so at the 5.5 inch mark. And I would just measure to there, put my blade down, and I would slice it. And that would be it. But to score it, I have to take this part off to put on the scoring blade. There are scoring blades, and if I was doing like maybe, I don't know, if I was doing like 50 of them, maybe that would be fine, and that would work fine. But if I'm only doing 1 or 2 here and there, it's really not convenient to have to like cut my paper, take off this blade, put on the new blade, screw it back on, and then score it. And, you know, it just takes more time. So that's my biggest one. I have 2 other trimmers as well. I have a medium size and a small size. Now these ones come they come with a cutting blade, and you can buy a scoring blade. But again, like the small one, you can't cut a large sheet of paper on the small one because it just doesn't fit. And this one too, like you can cut a longer piece, but the thing is that these don't leave room for a second blade. So in order for me to use the cutter and the scorer, I have to cut first. I have to remove my blade, and then put on my scoring blade and then score it. The other big problem that I had, or time-consuming problem that I had, was that I can't measure. You see, like this one only extends out to like 4 inches, which is not enough. So every time I wanted to cut paper for a card, I would have to go and measure. And so I'd measure. I'd take my ruler, I would measure it out, and I would mark, where my 5.5 inches was, and then I'd try and see that little dot or whatever, my little mark, and line it up in my trimmer over here with this line. And then cut it, right? And then afterwards, sometimes you could still see the paper, the pencil mark, and I have to go back and erase it because I don't want it to be, visible on my card, right? So that, again, like if you're making a bunch of cards, then that becomes a huge time suck, because then you have to start marking every single one of them and, erasing afterwards. So that's where Stampin' Up's trimmer comes in super handy. Okay, so this one, you see all the markings, the ruler is all here. I'm just gonna zoom in so you can see better. Let's see. Okay, so now you can see this ruler is easy to guide you on your cutting, and it has an extendable arm so that if you have long sheets of paper, the 12 by 12s or whatever, you can easily, measure out farther if you need to. So a 5.5 inch cut here, I just measure to there, and then both their blades fit on the trimmer all the time, and you can use either one. So this one, I have 5.5 inches measured. I cut it. Then I need to score it at the halfway mark, which is 4 1/4. I measure it again, 4 1/4. And I take the scoring blade, which is the light gray one, and done. This is way faster, so much easier. So now my paper is ready for making cards. So that's all I wanted to show you. If you have, other paper trimmers, you can do the job. It is possible, but I'm just saying that, this paper trimmer does everything you want in one go, and it's way easier. And I just really wanted to show all the newer crafters in the group, how great it is and how much I love it, even though I have 3 other ones. So that's it for today. That's all I wanted to show you. Thank you for watching, and leave me your comments if you watched, and let me know you were here. Thanks a lot. Bye.